Welcome back to Dow Twang. I'm Dave. Triads, triads, triads. It's time for some more, isn't it? Like you haven't seen enough videos on triads. If you're on YouTube, like I am a lot, it's a very popular topic. It's so important and it's so useful, right? But what I'm going to about present to you today is nothing new. The facts are the same, right? The triad is the root, third, and fifth of a chord. It's also the root, the first, third, and fifth tones in a scale, which is where you can also kind of derive it that way, right? Sometimes people ask me, like, I know, it's root, third, fifth, but the root, third of what, right? That's a good question, actually. So it's a scale. In this case, let's say we took an A. I chose Mixolydian because in that intro, the first chord change I made was from A to G, and that flat seven is going to sound good. Don't worry about what I just said. Go back to the root, third, and fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first 5 notes of that Mixolydian scale, if I skip every other note, that's it. Root, third, fifth. There's the flat 7, just for, good measure. Okay. A couple times in that intro, I did play a couple extra notes just to connect them or whatever. But the thing that's being connected is these simple shapes. Okay, I'm only using 2 shapes here in this routine, right? But I challenge everybody to, take inventory here. Set yourself up with I'm not using any kind of click or anything. I do have a loop that I've got here in the background that is made of 3 chords. Something like that. They're all major, right? And I like that A Mixolydian, that A to G, So that's just something that I can, adhere to while I'm practicing, rather than just saying I'm just going to do, I don't know, the circle of fifths or something, whatever. That would be fine too. But I like to put things in kind of my own little song format or whatever. And if you watch the twang, that's what it's always packaged in a little tune or something, right? So in this case, it's okay. So I didn't want to get carried away there. But once you get going, you see me kind of rocking back and forth. You just get into a cadence like that. That's when you know you're really practicing, right? You're not intellectualizing it anymore. You know what the move is going to be, right? Because you've of repetition. There's just 2 of them. So each one has the root on one string, and then on the next highest string will be the third and the fifth in some configuration. Hold each one as long as you want, or make up your own rhythm or whatever. Of course, I'm using that triplet feel. Da 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 ba da da. Just fits because there's 3 notes, and you can really settle into that. The other shape is Okay, same principle applies. There's a note on a string, and then on the next highest string, there's two, the third and the fifth. After a while, that little bit that I played just a minute ago, if you notice, like after a while, I started to kind of bounce the notes slightly differently or whatever, but it still had that feeling of triplets, and there was still just those notes, you know. So, for example, okay, so just that element starts to make it, and then the sliding in, to the next one and stuff. It's really fun when this an exercise like this, and it happens, a lot with this particular one, is it starts to just kind of, move into this space where it's licks, it's melody, right? It becomes musical. And so be patient. I'm not using a click or backing track or any of that on this. Um, I'm just letting myself, get comfortable on each one of them. And by comfortable, I mean where my hand is repeating itself. I could start to daydream, which I often do. Sometimes when I'm talking, right? Um, but it'll keep going. Right. Now, I'm not, giving anybody a hard time or making fun of anything. Somebody will say, I can't follow the order of, I don't know which, when are you switching? They, don't. Okay. Just in a very friendly, compassionate voice. Don't do that. Just use it, right? Trust yourself. If you play a note that's not one of them or something, who cares? Move on, right? Keep going. Don't just stop and, try to make it the same, exactly the same every single time and all that. When I play these intros and stuff, sometimes, especially if I'm going to tab it or something, obviously I I rehearse it so that I can present it in a way that's congruent to, the written materials that I'm going to give you. But most of the time, that's just, tedium, honestly. Um, but it's an important teaching skill, but and it's sort of a self-teaching thing too. When you transcribe things and stuff, you do pay attention to it in a different way. Um, but let yourself go on this one, right? There's two shapes, and just move them around wherever you can. Um, I'm not used to that one, right? Mix them up, right? Do the opposite of that. I need to have it needs to be in order, and just forget about that on this one. Let yourself go all over, and this is teaching you. For some of you, one of the real important benefits of this will just be knowing where you are on where the notes are, right? In this case, A, G, and D, right? But the cool part is that once you map out where those notes are, your hand will automatically play a melodic piece of music, a musical element, a melodic element, right? A triad. Okay. It's, you know, you're many of us at different times, all of us at some time or another, we're right outside the door of the thing that we're trying to get into, right? But there's something that it's not the lack of practice, it's not the lack of effort or desire to do it. It's something foundational that supports that moving up to that next level is not established. It's not solid enough, right? And so, if you want to use a lot of, more elaborate cage shapes and things, right? The way to do that, one way at least worth a try, is to do what I'm showing you here today. Take something that's very doable in terms of like memorization. There's not very much to memorize, and get it to where it's physically integrated into your hand, your body. Your right. It's all there, and then when you go back and say, okay, now wait a minute, now let me look at this whole business here for A. Okay. And, it's not that quick of a leap, but it's a lot of what just happened there, right? Just kind of, improvising that, going through those chords just now, those shapes were in there, right? The ones that we're practicing. Stay close to home base on this. Do your thing, do it at your speed. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing out there when you're practicing this, and things will start opening up for you. Let me know how this goes. Leave some comments. Look for us over on Patreon. We're going to keep drilling down on this week, so it should be fun. Take care. Talk to you next time.